I'd like to entertain a motion out of reconvene. Moved by Mr. DeHart, second by Ms. Benoit. Anyone would also like to discuss that motion? Mr. DeHart? Ms. Benoit?
No, sir.
Any board member? That injection here, none so ordered. Ms. Benoit, do we have a motion?
Yes, I have a motion that the board approve our attorney's recommendation regarding the matter bearing upon pending litigation, docket number 2:21-CV01144, United States District Court, Eastern District of Louisiana, the civil action suit.
Second by Mr. Farzan. Anyone in order would like to discuss that motion? Ms. Benoit?
No, sir.
Mr. Farzan? Any board member? Any board member? Okay, I'm gonna ask for a roll call vote, and a yes vote is you're in favor of the motion, a no vote you're opposed to it. Roll call vote.
All votes are in. 2 objections. Mr. Hamner, Mr. Lagarde, no one absent. The vote is 7-2.
Motion passed. Item number 9, Superintendent-elect agenda. Item A, matter banned upon reclassification to assistant superintendent position. The recommendation is that the board approve the reclassification of the current assistant superintendent position of chief academic office, CAO, with permission to advertise the chief academic office, CAO position immediately. Moved by Mr. Farzan,
Second.
second by Ms. Benoit. Anyone in the audience would like to discuss that recommendation? Mr. Farzan? Ms. Benoit?
No, sir.
Any board member? Yes. Ms. Soley?
I just have a question, I guess maybe for Mr. Orton. In bulletin 741, the chief academic officer has the same criteria as the superintendent. So I'm just curious why we're now going to chief academic officer instead of assistant superintendent.
Okay, so in the job description, one of the things I want to streamline is making the emphasis focus almost exclusively on the academic instruction of the curriculum side. The current job has a whole lot of student services and employee services in the fixed scheme plan. Those would be delegated elsewhere, and this position would be almost exclusively curriculum instruction, professional development.
So we don't have to follow bulletin 741 for the criteria of a chief academic officer?
Say, I'm not following, what, I'm not following.
Okay, in bulletin 741, there's the criteria listed for the chief academic officer. Do we follow that, or can we add more, or cut out less, or?
We'll follow, we have to follow.
Okay. Could I see, you talking about the requirements, like you got to do the certification, you got to be superintendent certified for the job?
It's the same thing.
Exactly, so I guess he's saying with,
Certification?
yeah, that the person would need superintendent certification, so I guess that's what you asking?
I don't think it says that.
That's what you asking?
No.
They would have to have that same
In bulletin
qualification.
741, it says same criteria.
Same criteria, yeah, I saw that as well. So we
If
did
if it's certification, we'll have to have certification.
Oh, have to have a
If that's what it takes, that's what we have to do.
superintendent certification.
Okay, Ms. Soley, you good? Mr. Lagarde?
You know, I'm curious, we changing it. What if something happens, say you win $20 million and leave, who's gonna run the district? Max said, who will run the
We
district?
have to appoint somebody that's very soon.
Well, I was doing that, something happened, we got the
You appoint somebody.
assistant superintendent would step in, we wouldn't have to do all that. If we got assistant superintendent, that person would,
That's a good question, Mr. Moore. And I think this process of this system, it's not uncommon. So there are accommodations made so that they either appoint somebody to interim or appoint somebody to be the superintendent on a very quick term. That's a common position as the chief academic officer.
Would you think that's fair? Because you was a assistant superintendent and moved up, and don't you think the next person will wanna be an assistant superintendent? Or wanna
Yeah, I mean,
move up, you know?
perhaps so. I think the job that either this position or other positions would shine and they're certified, they can move up just as easy.
And would we have to reclassify so the salary would be more money as well, right?
That's
I guess, I don't know if we could talk about this, but I know that's that position, but they got other positions as well, right? I don't know why we just didn't do all of them.
just because this one needs to be expedited sooner than the other ones. This one needs to be, in my opinion, put in place so that they can start taking the reins on the curriculum side. There's so much that happens over the summer. That's one of the busiest times, and I'm gonna be kind of working on the superintendent, which I am doing a lot of right now. This side, on the academic side, is being neglected somewhat, that we're not gonna be as prepared as we need to.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Andre, and I can only be honest with you. I just want our parish to do things fair, you know, and I've been getting a lot of calls about this, and I don't know if other people, you know, and I've been getting, oh, this person getting a job, that person getting a job, and I hope whoever get the job, everybody have a fair chance to apply for the job. If not, if you got somebody in mind, I'm a straight shooter, just give them the job. Don't be the game where I thought about doing, hey, I'm giving this person the job and let it be over. Instead of sitting there interviewing 5 people when we know this person getting the job, just give them the job. If they're related,
I'll go through the
doing that. I prefer to just go ahead and do it like that, because I got a lot of calls about this, you know, and I want it to be fair, you know, but if we know it's going to a certain person, let's give it to them and be done with it. I'd rather take the heat like that than playing the game, just me though.
You okay, Mr. Gard, you good?
You know?
Doc?
It's important that, as a board member, and it's my deepest wish to be able to work with our new superintendent to make our district as good and as effective as possible. But I also have another very big burden right now since Ida. I have to make sure that when we spend money, we spend it very frugally and not spent where it could otherwise, and spent in a way that does not address the needs of our closed schools and our students who are still not at home. And they are always the first priority in my mind. So I want to make sure that this, should it pass tonight, is it going to cost the district more money?
This position tonight will not cost us.
That's what I'm concerned about. I don't want to do anything that will cost us more money, because any spare change we have right now needs to go towards our schools.
Okay. Mr. DeHart?
Well, every superintendent I've worked with, I accepted recommendations because I knew where they were going and where they were coming from and what's the reason. I understand what Mr. Armstrong just said, that he wants to focus on curriculum, because that, I believe, and I'm going to say it maybe in my opinion, whenever Mr. Armstrong was hired by the superintendent and the board approved it, that's exactly what he did, was on curriculum. And I'm not saying Mr. Martin he had his hand in everything. Now that Mr. Armstrong's going to be superintendent, I'm either going to agree or disagree at the time, but right now, he's the educator for the school system. We are board members to make policy and support or deny any request the superintendent makes. And if he had any other rationale of changing the name, we reclassified many positions in the last few years. Even before this board was here, every 4 years there was a different board, okay? But what I'm saying is that I believe right now we got to at least yield to rationale, because academic is our first priority. Safety and academics go hand in hand. And I support, no matter what he calls it, it's going to be toward curriculum. That's important to me. And I'm not an educator, but I've learned the purpose of what he's doing. So I'm not saying I'm agree with everything Mr. Owenshaw or anybody else is going to say, but right now, no matter what you call it, if he's going to put it on curriculum, that's what I'm hoping it is. Because he is assistant superintendent, and that's what his job was, plus other stuff. And like I say, he explained to me, and I accept his explanation. Thank you.
Mr. Ford?
So generally in business, you have a chief executive officer and a chief operating officer is right below them. Then you have a chief financial officer and various other officers that follow. But the chief operating officer is always second in command, follows the same type of protocol in the military. They call them commanding officer, executive officer, so on and so forth. So this is basically making that chief operation officer the chief academic officer, right? Because our operation in the school system is academics. Now, as far as Bulletin 741, subsection 505, with certification of personnel, in the event an LEA in Louisiana through its locally authorized governing board chooses to select a superintendent who does not meet the eligibility requirements necessary to obtain certification as superintendent, such LEA may appoint the candidate provided that so on and so forth. It outlines what generally takes place if you have a superintendent-elect that is not certified as a superintendent, and that's where chief academic officer comes into play. Chief academic officer possesses a valid state-issued teaching certificate. The chief academic officer also meets all criteria required of a superintendent set forth in existing BESI policy. Now, the interpretation is correct. However, our superintendent-elect is certified as a superintendent. So our chief academic officer, therefore, does not need to meet this requirement. However, generally speaking, you will hire someone that is eligible for that certificate and must obtain it within 18 to 36 months. So you're right, whenever you read the bulletin, it does kind of throw up a red flag, but that's in the event we have a superintendent that's not eligible to be state certified superintendent. So I'm on board with this. I think it's a good move in the right direction. As assistant superintendent, your chief responsibility, your primary responsibility was academics, and sometimes other things kind of got in the way. So I like the idea of having someone who's a chief academic officer so they can focus on that and kind of divvy out the other responsibilities. Thank you.
Okay, any other board member?
I
Yeah,
got a
I
quick
think,
question.
I'm sorry, let me go, Mr. Hammond.
So if we pass this, then you're doing away with the position and the salary schedule for an assistant superintendent altogether. Taking it off the organizational chart does not exist any longer. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, I guess you're looking at this, I think change sometimes is difficult, and it's tough decisions that we, have to make with change. And like I said, I think we all know that change bring on a change. And I think I stated the night that Mr. Ogeron applied for the job, and we was talking about salaries. And I was saying that, that if he do not live up to our expectation in 2 years, I mean, this is the only person we can hire and fire. He can hit the road. And I truly believe in trying to give a person things that they need in order to be successful. And I think this is something that I like I said, this is what he's acting for. It's a situation where I think that we as a board, we selected him, and I think that we should treasure his judgment, or trust his judgment, and what he's trying to bring forward to this district. And like I said, that this is the bed that he is going to have to lay in, and of course, ultimately, we're going to have to deal with if it's not successful. So you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we had an assistant superintendent for years, ever since I've been here. Now the structure, he would like to change that. So that's basically how I feel about it. Any other comments? Ms. Benoit?
Yeah, I would say ditto to what you said. We elected Mr. Ogeron as our new superintendent, and I believe that that showed our trust that we had in him. And we need to give him our trust in this decision. You know, he has proven himself in the position he was in, and I know he's going to prove himself in this new position. So let's get behind him and give him the support that he needs. We said we would. I remember board members saying that night we elected him. So let's give him that support. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? At this particular time, I ask for a roll call vote. Yes, you support the motion, no, you oppose.
All votes are in. No objections. No one absent. Motion passes.
Okay, motion passed. Item number 10, individual school board member, that's under myself, matter pertaining to rescinding board action on a special emergency meeting of the Terrebonne Parish School Board, September 9th, 2021, due to Hurricane Ida.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hamler. Second by Mr. DeHart. I'm going to read the recommendation, and then I'll go to public once I read the recommendation. That the board rescind its action of September 9th, 2021, declaration of state of emergency related to Hurricane Ida that affected Terrebonne Parish on August 29th, 2021, and August 30th, 2021, causing widespread damage, and whereby the board authorized the superintendent to take all action necessary to respond to emergency, including evacuation of damaged schools, administration building, mitigation and damage and repairs, and further authorize the superintendent to enter into a contract necessary evaluation, mitigation, and repairs of damage caused by Hurricane Ida. Anyone in the audience would like to discuss the recommendation? I think it was moved by Mr. Hamler, second by Mr. DeHart. Mr. Hamler.
No comment. You did a good job, Mr. Barton, while you had that authority. Didn't overuse it either, and I appreciate that. But time to get back to regular.
Mr. DeHart.
I agree with that comment. You did what you had to do, when you had to do it, how you had to do it. That's why we made that.
Okay, any other board member?
I just have one comment. I thought I recalled when we did this that also the board president had some authority in this. Oh, that was COVID. That's right.
You
Okay.
guys kicked me to the curb a while back, okay? Are there any objection? Here, none so ordered. Mr. Hamlin, I hope you amended your word. B, Mr. Clyde Hamlin, legislative update.
Yeah, very briefly, I just wanted to kind of go over three bills that are three pieces of legislation that it has been in Baton Rouge. The first one, we all know about it. It was House Bill, let me get my notes together here. The one by House Bill 681 by Scheck-Snyder, it amended and passed. That's the sales and use tax bill. The LSBA is once again opposing that bill. And that is a bill that 3 years ago we opposed. Then LSBA supported it last year because they made some amendments. Representative Scheck-Snyder puts those amendments back in. Now, this bill is a constitutional amendment. It's not going to be passed by the legislature. If the constitutional amendment gets passed, the bill gets passed, and the constitutional amendment will go before the voters of the state of Louisiana. The two bills that they're not LSBA bills. There's Senate Bill 6, which is going to give for finally a 2% increase cost of living adjustment to retirees in the state of Louisiana. All of our Terrebonne Parish retirees are going to be eligible for that. Senator Edward Price has been walking that through the legislature for us, and he's doing a great job. He's a friend of education. I know the man personally, and he's always willing to do what he can do for retirees and educators. Wish we had more like him. The other bill, it's not really a bill. It was the budget. The Louisiana House of Representatives passed a package of budget bills on Thursday last week, including a proposed $38.6 billion state operating budget with pay raises for K-12 teachers and college faculty. The operating budget, which now goes to the Senate, includes $148 million for K-12. That's going to be the $1,500 pay raise for all teachers, $750 pay raise for school support workers. It looks like that's going to be a go. We won't know until the end of the session, but it looks like that's going to be something we can plan for our teachers next year. That's it.
That's it? Okay, I entertain a motion out of join. Moved by Mr. DeHart, second by Ms. Benoit. Any discussion in the audience? Any discussion by any board member? Hearing none, so moved.